Hello and welcome on this new edition of Primetime Watchmaking in the News. And before coming back on the main highlights of September, I can already tell you that October will be for sure a busy month for watch brands and watch fans around the world, because there are just so many events happening here and there, and full program will be shared with you later on. But naturally, we also have some product launches to share, a few very cool ones, and we're finally putting our boutique back live with some fun merchandise products, but also some very cool artwork. And I just wanted to start today's program by thanking so much those of you that made it to Geneva for our Viva watchmaking party, celebrating 100k subscribers in style and in a nice family atmosphere. And for those not there, well, we had organized a private guided visit of the Patek Museum, sweet. Then a little visit of some cool places in Geneva, such as MBNF's Mad Gallery and the likes. And then real festivities started here at the Watches Club, and I was really super happy and proud of hosting some of you guys that came all the way from Mexico, the US, Europe, and of course Switzerland. But I was also super happy that our good friend Philippe Dufour and his wife made it too, our other good friends and neighbors of Akrivia, Recep Recepi and his cool team, his new business associate, if I can say so, with the legendary casemaker Jean-Pierre Hagman. And it was really cool to have all these people meet and being able to bring together very different generations of people that nevertheless share the same vision regarding the future of horology. Well, it did feel special to me and fuels me up even more regarding our mission of sharing as much as possible what quality watchmaking is all about. It was a nice moment, a privileged one, and hopefully to be repeated soon. So a massive thanks to all for this, those that were here obviously, and those back home who made this 100k party possible. Okay, so what about interesting watches introduced recently? Well, we'll start with Greubel Forsey, who presented a very special limited edition of 11 pieces of its Double Tourbillon 30-degree technique, which was actually the first major invention of Mr. Greubel and Mr. Forsey, but this time has gone through some serious pimping, if I can say so. So first of all, it comes in a rather vivid blue ceramic case. That's a first for Greubel Forsey. And secondly, they really worked on the movement and opened it up even more with the extensive use of sapphire bridges. And it's quite incredible how it changes the perception of this timepiece, especially when you look at it from the case back, of course. I mean, there seems to be so much more room there, but we are, of course, nevertheless talking about a super complex timepiece with a rather sizable amount of components, 432 for the movement and just 132 for the double tourbillon mechanism by itself. And yes, that sapphire bridge on the tourbillon is a total stunner. Wouldn't be too surprised to see it used again. I mean, it really works well. So naturally, I mean, the finishing on Greubel Forsey timepieces is always, I mean, all the way up there, just astounding. So if you're interested in such a timepiece, not only will there be only 11 of them, but on top of it, they are reserved for the US market. So yes, sorry for all of us outside the US, even though I'm pretty sure we could find some solution apart if they are already all gone. Who knows? Anyhow, next watch, and A. Lange & Söhne continues its 25th anniversary tribute to the Lange 1, and this month coming with the tourbillon version, again in a white gold case, again limited to 25 pieces. And for info, the original model, which came out in 2000, was the first watch to have a combined tourbillon movement, 3 days of power reserve, and a big date. Okay, that's just for the little marketing story, but nice timepiece for sure. And it will be interesting to know which one will be my or your favorite one once all those 10 models will have been revealed. On my side, I already have a little idea. Still in tribute mode, but this time for a 50th anniversary, Tag Heuer introduced the 4th iteration of their Monaco, celebrating the years 1999-2009. So it's limited to 169 pieces. This watch holds the caliber 11 movement, has panda-like white sub-counters and a black dial and some red and orange touches here and there. Okay, great! But one of the most interesting launch of this month comes from Urwerk, who introduced the UR100 Spacetime, their most affordable timepiece. And I know this is relative, very relative, So naturally, Urwerk is still using their signature satellite hour indication with orbital hour disc. Actually, 3 of them, and each one with 4 hours indicated on them. And the way it works is that while the hour trails gently on the minute indicator, the next hour is getting prepared on the next satellite. So I hope you got me on this. But the principle is quite simple, but very smart and actually very cool. So there are other little gimmicks with kind of sidereal indication found on this watch. But please forgive me if I skip this, as I find this more confusing than anything else. Anyhow, a cool watch. Okay, next watch, and Mille introduced the RM50-04 Kimi Raikkonen tourbillon split-second chronograph. It doesn't really seem like a totally new timepiece in terms of movement, but the execution is naturally new, coming in a white or creamy carbon TPT case, and carbon has also been used within the movement for bridges, and it is highly skeletonized, resulting in a crazy 7 grams only for the movement. Yes, 7 grams, and still managing to hold 5000 G-shocks, which is actually the reference used today. Actually, it's a ISO norm. So of course, and as you can imagine, the watch is very decently priced, about 1 million, and is limited to 30 pieces only. So I ordered 3, but anyhow, joke aside, I really like the bold moves of Mille. I find this almost entertaining, and they are definitely the only ones capable of doing this kind of stint, and on top, it works. So many tried to copy, no one ever managed to succeed. I mean, there's only one Mille. Okay, next subjects, and to be honest, I'm now getting a bit tired of all these Omega anniversaries, as they are introducing a pretty nice watch, a special Seamaster Diver 300M, to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the James Bond film on Her Majesty's Secret Service. So not even the first James Bond or whatever. And going down that route, well, the good news for them is that they will be able to find 50th anniversaries for almost anything that suits their marketing goal. And why not celebrating the 25th anniversary or something like the 33rd? Who knows? Well, you get my point. And coming back on the movie itself, for me, it's one of the best Bond movie, even that for some, George Lazenby was a mistake. I don't think so, but he for sure made a huge one when he decided not to continue with the James Bond character, fearing it would entrap him in this role and have a negative impact for the rest of his career. Well, there was no career altogether for him, and after this, and yes, maybe I'm being a bit cruel, but most importantly, I'm getting far away from watchmaking, so let's go back on our beloved subject. But I have to tell you that this is it in terms of noteworthy product launches witnessed recently. A part, of course, of all the fantastic timepieces participating in this year's edition of Only Watch. And we for sure had a great time and great privilege to get very close and personal with all of them. So just a bit of teasing now, but we have a great video report coming your way regarding this charity auction and some spectacular pieces. I mean, you should enjoy a lot, in fact. And yes, so we went to Monte Carlo for this during the Monaco Yacht Show. Wasn't bad either, plenty of toys to be seen. And these watches are going on a world tour before the actual auction to be held in Geneva on November the 9th and hosted by Christie's. And we already know that we'll be in for some pretty crazy records, well, at least one, and this I can seriously guarantee you. Highest price for a steel watch is already written. So very quickly, watches will be shown generally in Christie's local offices around the world, and you will be able to see them in Dubai on the 1st till the 3rd of October, Paris 7th and 8th, London 11th till the 13th, New York 16th and 17th, Tokyo 23rd, 24th, Singapore 25, 26, but this time at the Hourglass Boutique and not at the Christie's office, but back at Christie's in Hong Kong the 28th and 29th, and the 30th and 1st of November in Taipei. Again, extremely cool report coming your way, and for our patrons, the great people supporting us and making this possible, and you are all invited to do so if you want, of course. No pressure at all. Well, this report will actually be made available for these patrons immediately, and you will get a special notification very, very shortly. So you know these little perks for our patrons, just worth mentioning. And as mentioned in the intro, we are finally putting our boutique back online, and for the time being we will only have a few pieces of Viva watchmaking merchandise, but it will get juiced up in the coming week. So far you will be able to buy the famous and classical Swiss ball pen from Caran, yeah, this one. Totally Swiss made, really high-end quality, and yes, we went full Swiss on this. Then we have another Swiss icon with the Swiss Army knife, one with a little twist as it features a loop. And then we have Swiss cubic watch winders, again super high-end quality, really long battery life on these, and easily rechargeable with USB. But also I love watches, stickers, some time is what you make of it t-shirt, and of course my favorite Viva watchmaking cap. But each month we'll also promote some artifacts obviously related to watchmaking, and today we really have some super cool artwork coming from a Danish friend of the Watches TV, Mr. K. Brondum, who creates beautiful compositions with some very iconic watches that are first hand-painted and then printed on aluminium canvas. They are all limited, signed by the artist with a special mention of the Watches TV, a pretty cool and very personal touch. So we do have a few variants of these, so don't hesitate to check our website to see all different available compositions, because it might be a bit difficult these days to get a hold of a sub, but that's a nice way of compensating your frustration if you're part of those on those really long waiting lists. So link below to our website for all these fabulous and indispensable items. And as a quick reminder, most of these goodies are part of some of the privilege for our patrons. I mean, so you choose the option. Okay, now let's get back to some other events on the watchmaking planet. And as mentioned, October is quite intense. So let's take this in chronological order. So if you're in Poland, please come to Autochronos Festival, held in Lodz on the 5th and the 6th. Should be fun, and for the first time I will attend and even be part of the jury. How fancy is that? If you're in Singapore, and this exhibition has already started, but Patek Philippe has taken the exhibition, which already took place in London and New York a couple of years ago. I had actually seen the London one, was pretty nice and pretty complete. Well, now this exhibition is held at the Marina Bay Sands Theatre till October the 13th, a must if you're in the region. Then if you're in Mexico, well, the CR will take place again in Mexico City between the 15th and the 17th. And this is also a mighty cool and interesting event, plenty of nice brands, and often some of them use this event to introduce new timepieces. I unfortunately can't make it this year again. Feel a bit sad about this, but the reason is that for the very first time I will go to Singapore around these dates and attend another fair called Jewelux. Really can't wait for this, meet some very interesting people, understand a bit better the Singapore dynamic when it comes to watch collecting. And there are obviously plenty of very knowledgeable and savvy collectors there. And this fair will occur between the 16th through the 20th in the town's prime shopping district in front of the NG An City and opposite Paragon. But almost during the same dates, and if you're in Prague, in the Czech Republic, well, you can attend the Salon of Exceptional Watches on the 19th and 20th. And if you're in New York, well, you have a Watch Time New York Salon with special evening party on Friday the 25th and the big show on the 28th. Unfortunately, can't make it either, but would have loved to. So, as mentioned, quite a lot on the watchmaking agenda, and I probably forgot a few things, such as the other world tour of the watches participating at this year's GPHG. Anyway, we will put links to all of this in the description box below. And since some people did ask me this, I do need not to forget to do a quick wrist check on each edition of PRIMETIME. Well, today I'm wearing my Zenith Tipo CP2, the first reissue of the watch that came out about 3-4 years ago with the famous El Primero chrono movement. So this was a limited edition of 1000, so not that limited. But now Zenith has brought this back into its collection, but with the addition of the flyback function. Okay, so this is finally it. Hope you had a good time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for our patrons supporting us. And we do have some cool reports coming soon. A few more crazy unboxing. This special only watch video. Really, really cool. Well, just good stuff ahead. Makes us happy and hope you too. All the very best. See you real soon. And a massive Viva watchmaking to you. Off we go.